Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Monday, everybody. Monday, September 23rd, 2024, as we all come together as a community to talk about this thing that we call disclosure. Tonight, how about that? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the audience. Welcome to the show, everybody. And as we usually do at the start of this broadcast, we've got a jam-packed episode for everyone tonight who wants to hang out and have some fun. Remember, if you're having a good time, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you here as a regular on Disclosure Tonight. And I'll try and remind you guys later during the show if you haven't subscribed yet. So on that note, let's go ahead and find those drums and get them going and welcome in our audience. Who the hell do we have out there? Let's take a look. And Joanne's here along with Avi M all the way from India. It's pretty early there, not too early, but good to see Avi, Brian Morgan, Eli McGinnis, Firefly, Frank Einstein. Kathy's here, Kelly Bro with her piercing blue eyes. Good to see you, Kelly. King Bull's here, Niles Guy, Peggy, and Steve, your South Florida friends. Hopefully you're feeling better, breathing better. We miss you, Peggy. We love you. Hey, Google, what's the temperature in Florida? Let's ask just to find out.
The temperature in Miami right now is 84 degrees.
Look at that, 84.
Current humidity, it feels like it's 91.
84 degrees with 91 with humidity, but it's crystal clear. So if you want to go find a UFO tonight, Peggy, go outside and remember to look up. Who else do we have out there? We have Pete Liebel, Robert Vargas, Roger, Tasha, and of course the Chromosome Cowboy. But my friends, it's not just about our friends in the chat. It's about the friends in the back who are going to ask all these great questions tonight. Well, if you go ahead and take a look, oh my gosh, we have a good friend coming in all the way from Bristol, United Kingdom. Would you believe it or not? Let's welcome our dear friend Andy W. How's it going, Andy?
Hi, yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, how about that?
I'm actually no overtime tonight once I get my laptop boosted up, so yeah.
Nice. Good to have you here. You popped in. You just popped in right as I'm just about to call people, and well, I'm going to call on Andy. Good to see you, my friend, as always.
Yeah, good to be here, yeah.
Yeah. Also, let's see. We've got another friend from the Desert Southwest. Let's call him Brian Pemble. How's it going, Brian?
Hey, it's going great. Good to be here.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Also, another friend from the state of Washington. If he decides to answer, you never know what's going to happen. Let's welcome our dear friend, Nick. How's it going, Nick? No, not going to happen. I know, but let's move on. Who else do we have here? Well, if you turn the world upside down, it's one of our dear friends all the way from Australia. I could say it's none of your business because it is, but it's actually Susan Ford. How's it going, Susan?
It's going pretty good, Thomas. It's good to be here on a Tuesday, which is your Monday.
Yeah. I've got someone in the back who I could call Foghat, but I'm not going to call his name because I don't want to get in trouble. On that note, let's move on to our next person in the back. Well, would you look at that? It's Shelly. How's it going, Shelly?
Hey, Thomas, it's going good. Can't wait for the show tonight.
Yeah, is your phone still blowing up with those text messages?
Not yet.
Oh, still yes or no? Did it slow down?
No.
It's continuing.
It stopped. Yeah.
It stopped or it didn't stop?
It has stopped.
Oh, on its own.
What happens?
How many did it take before it stopped? 8 or 10?
7 licks before you get to the center.
Oh, it's like, hey, Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a lollipop? 1, 2, 3, crunch 3, right?
You're cat.
Oh, I know. Where is the one? Oh, da-da-da, da-da-da, Beethoven. Let's see if I can find that. I spell it. Let's go ahead and move on. Who else do we have in the back here? Well, it's the man who likes to keep it pouring like it's coming out of a pitcher. Let's welcome our dear friend, Syrup. How's it going, Syrup?
Oh, it's going good, man. I'm looking forward to Monday night's show.
Oh, so am I. It is Monday. Oh, yeah, it is Monday. Yeah, did y'all have a Monday? I know I did. and I know Mike did. Holy cow. Mike, Disclosure. How the heck are you?
I'm doing well, Thomas. You're right. It's been one of those Mondays, but that's okay. Seems like we have a lot of interesting things to talk about with our audience tonight, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's usually fun. Now, I've skimmed through the interview with Don Jr. and LUE Elizondo. I've got a couple little clips. We'll be able to go ahead and play with it. Good news is there's nothing new.
Obviously.
The better news is not that Republicans believe in conspiracy theories, which they do. It was a great way to take the president's son, who has been interested in the UFO phenomenon. Because remember, wasn't it, many years ago that, Trump was going to be at a WWE match, and Don Jr. was going to ask him the question ahead of time or something like that to ask him about what he knew about Roswell?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But now he came back for a good 45 minutes on the Don Jr. podcast, Donald Trump Jr. podcast over on Rumble. And it's really good to see that, there's some interest coming from mainstream Republican Party. Now, I wish, and I'm sure you do too, Mike, that these kind of questions would be coming across to Kamala that haven't been happening so much, but we've heard Trump talk about it many times. We've heard a lot of people, we've had multiple people asking him questions. He even just said on Gutfeld, this is a question people are asking me the most. And he talks favorably about he doesn't necessarily believe in it, but he talks about a lot of facts coming from pilots, including an unannounced case that happened with an F-22, right?
Correct. But you know what? The Democrats won't touch this topic with a 10-foot pole. At least someone on the Republican side is.
Right. Now,
so you got to give them credit.
We did have the UAPDA disclosure agreement, which died again, unfortunately, and I think we can go ahead and... No, that's not it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, UAPDA 2.0, just like its sibling 1.0, died prematurely. Cannot bring it to term, unfortunately. It's just one of those things that we try to get it there. It didn't happen. But the biggest sad thing about UAPDA 2.0 was that you didn't have one of the leaders, any of the people who were leading in the Senate, coming out and actually encouraging their other members of the Senate, such as potentially Rand Paul, who wasn't supporting it, to try and get this to come out. So it's not like they were doing any fishing. They were trying to do some snagging, They
weren't speaking publicly about it.
No.
Browns or buddy Chuck Schumer. None of it. Not a word.
There was some announcement stuff when it came out, but silence ever since. There wasn't one press release. There wasn't one presser. It was never brought up. You couldn't get anyone to even talk with Schumer. I mean, heck, who was it earlier this year? You had James Fox trying to talk with Schumer. And where did it go?
Correct.
Absolutely nowhere.
Right. He got the door slammed in his face.
Yeah, the elevator door, potentially, as Schumer looked down over his reading glasses. God, I mean, I swear, Schumer looks like one of the brothers or one of the uncles from Bewitched, tell you the truth, but that's another story.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things, and we wish it was different. Now, I know there are a lot of diehard Dems out there who watch the show. There's a lot of people who are Republicans. Me, like my dad, I've always been in the center. You vote for the person, you vote for the place. And it just looks like if there is a chance for Trump to come forward with the positive information and what we're seeing coming forward on disclosure, coming from the Trump side of things, well, people will debate it. I think personally there's a much better chance, and I've been saying this vocally for some time, the best chance we have is going to be with Trump if we want to get disclosure to go forward.
Well, so far it seems like he's the only one that's really talking about the subject. Nobody else is.
Yeah, we haven't had one dose of word salad from the left, have we?
Nothing.
Nothing about
quiet.
disclosure. Not from the president, presidential candidate. Not from the not from the vice president candidates. No one. It's quiet.
Yeah, they don't want to touch this topic with a 10-foot pole.
Why do you think that is, Mike?
Because they feel that, I mean, look, you and I covered this on the show. You remember when Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, and for Patrick, you know, his neighbor Kiki, she had that meeting with her constituents to get votes. When this topic was, she basically didn't say very nice things about it. She was trying to appeal to get votes from the constituents and talk down about it. She didn't bring it up or make a big deal supporting it. It seems like the Democrats are going in lockstep, and they don't want to come across to their voting base that they are supporting of this because they feel it might cost them votes, potentially. It's unfortunate.
I guess. Well, if they were going ahead and taking the angle of these aliens are illegal.
Yeah, there you go.
It could be a jump for the Democrats to go forward on that one. Say they're going to grant immunity to all the non-human intelligence who might be in the country.
Yeah, but that still falls into the same category, so they're probably not going to touch it.
No.
And they don't want to touch anything to do with illegal aliens, period. So they're not going to bring it up.
You can't get an answer out of them with regards to what the heck they're going to do, let alone that, or even, what are you going to do? You say you're going to fix the economy. How? Besides
they're going
words.
to give the illegal aliens the ability to vote. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not a good look, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've got a little clip here. I want to go ahead back to the conversation. This is Lou talking about UAPs are the worst kept secret in the military. We've heard this one before. Let's hear it again before my stomach explodes and I get called out to the library to drop off the kids at the pool. All right, where am I at? Video, full guest. All right, let's play this little clip here and see where it takes us.
This is something that is very pervasive. It's the worst kept secret at this point because pretty much everybody in the military knows about it. They've encountered these things. We have very, very high fidelity videos. Look, I'll be honest with you. Your father was one of the first elected officials to ever publicly take this topic seriously. And there's a lot of men and women in uniform right now that are very, very grateful for him being courageous and taking the first step.
Wow. Let me rewind that one more time just to this little
There's part. A lot of men and women in uniform. Your father was one of the first elected officials to ever publicly take this topic seriously.
Which I have to say is probably a fact.
And there's a lot of men and women in uniform right now that are very, very grateful for him being courageous and taking the first step. Look, I got to tell you, he's going to be remembered in history very favorably for that alone. He was the first one. Wow.
That is a powerful statement, Mike. Let me give you step away for a second, let you handle this. What are your thoughts on this? And I'd love to hear Brian's thoughts on this as well.
Oh, so would I. Brian, do you have anything that you want to add about this, in your opinion?
Well, I think when Trump was in there the first time, he surrounded himself with some of the people he thought were good and some really that he thought were good that really were not. And so obviously, if you look at Mike Pompeo, gave him some bad advice, for example, on the JFK file, not releasing them fully. And so, yeah, a step in the right direction, not 100% what's promised. So hopefully, so let's just say that he gets elected. If he's elected, then hopefully the second time around, he's kind of got a better handle on how things work because, the first time he's there, he was never a politician. I mean, that was never his gig. Yeah, he could run companies, he could manage people, but to, delve into the world of politics, there was a steep learning curve there. So, I'm just as hopeful as you guys that if he gets in there, that we'll get a lot more coming out. Now, on the Democrat side, we just haven't heard anything, and I think that's by design. And you guys were alluding to earlier that we haven't heard anything from Schumer, and for that matter, Rounds, by the way, in 9 months. And I think that's quite upsetting. So everybody's going to wait for the elections. Mike's right. So after the elections, we might get some hearings, and then we might get some more jibber jabber come around January. We'll see. I hate all this talk, and the only things that are reality that's actually happening is at least we're getting the legislation put forward, but it's not going through, and we're getting hearings. I mean, those are the only actions. Aside from the whistleblowers, those are the only legislative actions we've seen. So we'd love to see more than just talk.
Now, talking about people who used to be part of the Trump administration, let's turn our clocks back to not Mike Pompeo, who you just mentioned, Neil Ratcliffe. Or John Ratcliffe, I'm sorry. He used to be the Director of National Intelligence. Now, when John Ratcliffe was getting ready to leave office or had just left office back in January, God, when was that, 2020 at that point, he came forward with the most pervasive and detailed description of what we're dealing with in the skies, what we're seeing, what's going on, what our military pilots are dealing with, where are we seeing from the sky, from our satellites, what are the performance dynamics coming out of it. And it's so much so that the information we got then eclipses any information that we've gotten from the federal government since then, because for the most part, sorry about that back. For the most part, what's been going on is it's been an embargo on details and any information, especially coming from the executive branch, like the Director of National Intelligence. We've had a little bit of stuff coming out from ARO, but for, the last, let's call 2 years, 2+ years, we haven't had much action because this year's NDAA failed. Last year's NDAA failed. We had some stuff the year before that kind of went through. We've had like 4 years, actually at least 3 years of changes going on. And it seems like the further back in time we go towards more of that Trump administration, which had the UAPTF going on, that seemed to be the golden age of acknowledgement coming out of the government. And since the Biden administration came in, now at first we were told that the Biden administration was very positive and working towards disclosure. And then the last 2 years, it's been a negative aspect. But I have to bring one thing up. As Lou said, now he is actually contracting for the executive branch. He didn't say a particular branch. I guess he could say, if you were contracting for Space Force, like came out at one time, would you say you're contracting for the executive branch, or would you say you're contracting for the DOD, or would you say you're contracting for, the executive branch? No, you go back to kind of what you call home, where the contract is signed from, and that's who you say you're standing for. So do you think that potentially maybe at the end of the Biden administration, they're shuffling some papers behind that would bring Lue Elizondo more into the fold of things? I mean, it's not like we can ask him the questions. We can't, but these are things I love to ask.
Yeah, and if I may, Mike, and
go ahead, Brian. Go right.
I think that's a good question, Thomas. And I hate to deal in rumor mill too, but that's what we have to deal with in this subject. That there's supposedly a whistleblower out there that's a higher level than even Carl Nell. So if you bring some of these larger people from the executive branch, which includes DOD and some of the intelligence agencies, into the fold, that might help things. Now, as speculation on who that whistleblower is, you brought up former DNI Ratcliffe. I think it would be a true tour de force and a real amazing thing, since we want to build this as a nonpartisan issue, which it should be and is, to see former DNI James Clapper and former DNI Ratcliffe get up on the same podium and come out as whistleblowers together. I think that would be the coup de grace right
Was
there.
Ratcliffe? Yeah, Ratcliffe, absolutely. He'd be wonderful to get up there.
Absolutely.
Now, was Clapper DNI as well?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it may have been for a brief time. I mean, he was also CIA. But go ahead and check me on that.
I'm bringing it up right now. Yes, he was the former director of now. So he was the director of national intelligence from 92 to 95.
And you remember, the DNI was kind of developed during the Kennedy administration to be the antidote to the runaway military-industrial complex and all that. So I think that would be appropriate. So
and in 2010, he came back and was a DNI again, unanimously approved. And then 2013, after the leaks, Clapper was accused of perjury. Oh, he lied, blah, 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 and he left. So yeah. And then he, of course, in 2017, with his perfect record, he was hired to be a commentator at CNN.
But it seems like he served in Democratic administrations.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. But actually, his first office that he was in, he was actually in with H.W. Bush in 91 and 95. So he has been in both Republican, and he actually looks like he served as a DNI under George W. Bush as well.
Go ahead, Patrick. I see you're exploding over there. No, nothing? All right.
So it is possible, too, by the way, that Lou could have ran into both these individuals at some point during his tenure. I mean, I'm not saying that happened.
I mean, James, well, no, it wasn't James Clapper. Who was the old, who was the former head of the CIA? No hair as well, put his head down in the conversations when he was just talking about the disclosure, and he was so weighted by the guilt of it almost, or the somberness of it. You can see his picture. Brennan. Kelly Broke got it. It was James. It was Brennan. Ding, 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 ding. Exactly right. Great conversation so far. So I do have another clip here coming from Luis Elizondo telling Don Trump Jr. that the United States tracked UFOs on radar over sensitive. What are you doing? Sensitive installations going 13,000 miles per hour in the 50s. This is nothing new. We've heard Lou. This is one of his standard fare of what we've been hearing in many different places that he's at. So let's just hear him say it for good form. One more. Is this it? No. Here we go. One more time.
Seeing objects that are not just doing that speed, but think of 10,000, 13,000 miles an hour being clocked on radar, multiple different radar systems, and it was being clocked back in the 1950s. Now, temporally speaking, one could say, yeah, maybe we have that technology today somewhere, some country, but if
okay, I have to point that out. That is a new word coming from Lou Elizondo this round out, Mike, temporally speaking.
Yeah, meaning time.
Yeah, I know.
Question of time.
But it's just a new idiom coming from Lou.
You look where we were in the 1950s, temporally speaking, it just doesn't make sense. That would be like going into King Tut's tomb for the very first time, chiseling away that plaster wall, and all of a sudden seeing behind that wall a fully assembled 747 jet.
I mean, 1950s technology, that was like the beginning of like the F-15 era or something like that, right?
The F-15 in the 1950s, Mike, was that real?
Not at all.
Yeah, that's kind of a.
Before that, actually, we're talking F-105s, we're talking Sabres.
Okay, yeah, maybe I think it's the 60s, yeah. Because that's 50-year-old technology, yeah. I'm thinking 50 years, not 1950s, but yes, 100%.
Yeah, so, we're talking about technology.
I have to do a fact check. on the McDonnell Douglas F-15, coming from Rob Heatherly's favorite publication, the Wikipedia. So the F-15 took its maiden flight, not in the 50s, July 1972, and entered service in 1976.
Correct.
Yeah.
So not from the 1960s.
No. Well, sometimes you need a pencil sharpener, Mike.
We have
50 years, not.
Sometimes.
No, go ahead. Yeah,
yes.
No, play the video. Yeah,
right. Yeah, maybe I think it's the 60s, yeah. Because that's 50-year-old technology, yeah. I'm thinking 50 years, not
50 years back from now, I guess. That would take us back to the 70s, wouldn't it? No. Yeah, 70s.
Yes, it would take us right back to the 70s.
Yeah.
Correct.
1950s, but yes, 100%.
Yeah, so, we're talking about technology that we have been encountering over controlled U.S. airspace, over sensitive military installations for the greater part of 70 years.
So there you go. Again, same conversations, and it's a new audience. And I think, Mike, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I think that's been LUE's mission this time out, is to literally don't go to the same places that you went before, right? It's not like we're seeing LUE on Christina Gomez or even Dave Scott over on Space Start Radio or here. It just seems like he's going to bigger places and other podcasts that don't have anything to deal with disclosure.
Correct. That's correct. Yeah, he's trying to. Well, look, if he's going on larger platforms, that's kind of like mainstream, whereas before he was doing it more of a salt of the earth type of a reach out to everybody.
Right.
Now he's going to larger and bigger platforms. Then some of them are politically motivated, and we are in the middle of a general election. So, yeah, it makes sense. He's going to get the widest appeal to a larger audience by doing that.
Yeah.
It's a good strategy.
It's a very good strategy, isn't it?
It is. I agree.
Yeah.
The word will get out.
So he's out there hitting home on a MAGA podcast. Now, there were some, I thought I went and I grabbed these different tweets that I saw. Here we go. Some comments that came up about the podcast that we just show, some little things. Let's go ahead and bring these up and have some fun with it. What are people saying about it? What are people saying about this? I have no real skin in the game in the U.S. election currently. However, I think it's important to share that the former president's son wants to chat with LUE Elizondo about UAP. That's a good statement. Wouldn't you think, Mike? It's pretty accurate?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It is accurate.
Let's move on to the next one. Tonight, shifting gears, a bit of a deep dive with all things UFOs with LUE Elizondo. And next person, let's see how they take it. No, but Elizondo is on Trump Jr.'s podcast right now. Great news to see the next president's take such a keen interest on disclosure. That's a positive one. Another one coming from Jason Calavito. The problem here isn't LUE Elizondo. It's Donald Trump Jr. You can't patronize a Trump podcast while claiming to be apolitical. That's true, but the truth of the matter is it's entering the public sphere, right, Mike?
It is, but I see, like us, LUE is not on one side of the political fence or the other. He's down the middle. So I don't think he's really trying to push one political agenda over the other. That's not my take on it. But some people, on the other hand, can see it that way if they so choose. I don't think I agree with that, though.
Yeah. That's true. That's true, my friend. Absolutely. Let's move on from this one. Little quote coming in from LUE Elizondo from one of his recent interviews. Let's bring this one up here, have some fun with it. Video full guest. Let's get into it. Metamaterial goes ahead and brings this one forward to us. Let me just shrink this down so we can, come on, let's get to it. I'll do it this way. Give me a second here, folks. I'll make it bigger so everyone can read it. I promise, I'll try. I always try my best. All I can ever do. And by the way, Mike, I would never threaten anyone's wife, let alone LM's wife. Just saying. That would be wrong.
we're gonna get heavily into the all the troll drama, and we've really been trying to avoid all of that. But no, of course not. It's a ridiculous idea.
I'm just putting it out there. I have to address things here or there. All right, LUE Elizondo. There's other people who are in my program that will be coming out with additional information that I think will help move this conversation forward. I can't say anything publicly until they come out, but there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. I have to say, Mike, we've heard that a lot over the last several years.
Oh, repeatedly. Exactly.
It seems to be one of the standard conversation pieces to pass around. Now, what else do we have here? I've got a bunch of other great tweets to go ahead and cover with tonight. Where is it at? Oh, yeah, we wanted to get into, well, one of the next stories that we're going to go ahead and cover today is there's actually clarification that's coming out back on January 5th of this year, Ross Coulthart, on rumors that the Jason Webb Telescope, the James Webb Telescope, not Jason. This isn't a data payload coming in. Webb Telescope has detected signs of extraterrestrial life. Let's see what, back on the Need to Know podcast, what Ross had to say about this. Let's go ahead and play it, and we'll have some fun. Here we go.
I'm hearing a lot of rumors about the James Webb Space Telescope having detected something significant. I tweeted about it just yesterday, but apparently NASA's announced the detection of a potential signature of extraterrestrial life in the atmosphere of a planet located 120 light years away. And apparently the James Webb Space Telescope produced a potential detection of the molecule dimethyl sulfide, which is only produced by living organisms on Earth. It's a tentative detection, and they're preaching caution before they declare it's aliens. But what we can expect is that there's going to be clarification of that this year. And I think that's one thing that the government of the United States is already aware of and sitting on. I think they know the answer already. That's at least what I've been told.
All right, so what we're talking about is the James Webb Telescope may have found signs of life of exoplanet K218b. I believe this is like 100 or so light years away from planet Earth. Could be wrong on that one, but I think I'm close enough. Basically, they found dimethyl sulfide, which basically means there's life on that planet. Now, Congress has potentially been briefed, and it's not hopefully it's dolphins, but there's also signs that there is an ocean on that planet as well. Let's see if I can get some more details going on here. So the James Webb Space Telescope had reportedly detected dimethyl sulfide, a gas in the atmosphere of exoplanet K218b, located 124 light years away. This gas is considered a strong indicator of potential life due to its exclusive production by living organisms on Earth. DMS gas identified on Earth primarily from marine phytoplankton, has no known abiotic source, making its presence on K2-18b a significant finding in the search for extraterrestrial life. However, scientists are skeptic and believe it could just be methane gas or swamp gas, for that matter. Launched by NASA on December 25th, 2021, the James Webb Telescope reached, it's give us discovery after discovery after discovery. But it's good to know, Mike, that, they're looking out there, they're finding things, and they're not just covering it up. Then again, they've known about this since January, so go figure.
No, you're absolutely right. It makes perfect sense. But I believe Brian has something to say that might interest the audience. So when you're ready, Brian, go right ahead.
Go for it, my friend.
I posted a link in the back chat. I don't know if somebody wants.
I can't play that now. What is it of? It's on someone's. It's on someone's Plex.
Yep. Go ahead.
It appears that the James Fox documentary, the program, may be coming out on October 23rd. So there may be a release date on 24th. October 23rd.
Tomorrow.
Oh.
September?
I just confirmed it. October 24th.
Okay, I got it. It did pop up October 23rd. Here we go. Let's bring this up. I was able to bring it up, Ryan.
I was hoping for the breaking news.
All right, we can get that.
There we go.
A breaking UFOs alert. There we go. The program coming to us from James Fox is going to be released on October 23rd, 2024. That's right. You heard it here, folks. First, folks. Thanks for that insight, Brian. I appreciate that. Someone has
absolutely, and this website looks legit, so I don't see this as being incorrect unless
no, this is Plex. This is showed. I'd like to find out when Aliens is coming out, the next Alien movie. Let's see if we can find out.
No, it's legit, Brian. That's a good catch, by the way. Breaking news. Now everyone knows when they can actually sit down and watch the program.
Oh, I know. Got to look forward to that one.
And I can't take all the credit for it, but it does give the the narrator and some of the main actors in it. Doesn't look like any whistleblowers or any of the main people.
No, I can't find out when Alien Romulus is coming to is coming out yet. But thank you, Brian. I appreciate that insight. Wow, wowzers! Good catch, my friend. Where else are we at? We're jumping back and forth between LUE Elizondo. We just talked about the stuff coming in from Ross Coulthard. All right, Mike.
Yes, sir.
We've got some rumors that have been being spread with regards to a large object that's potentially 10 light years away or less that's heading towards our planet, potentially. And it's making course corrections along the way to make sure it's going to intercept our planet. Now, this is potentially something that's a craft that's the size of a large city. Think of New York or something, Chicago,
right.
Tokyo, for that matter. It's huge, and it's heading right our way. Now, let me find out when I heard about this first.
Oh, it's been all over social media.
No. Hold on. I heard about this initially on December 26, 2023.
Okay.
That's the first time I heard about this potential thing heading our way. Now, I haven't said anything about it because I got this from trusted sources back in the day. But the biggest thing about it is there's no concrete information. What we're talking about is a rumor that's being passed around in the back channels. And it sounds like the rumor that I heard back on December 26th, 2023 here, looking at the message I got from someone about that. Thank you, sir. You know who you are. When that came in, we haven't said anything. We haven't mentioned anything about it. So it's been what? Almost 10 months.
Yes.
So it took 10 months to get beyond where I saw it to finally get to our friends over at Vetted and some of the other podcasts that are acting like, oh my God, look at this, listen to this information. Yeah, it's been going around. It's something that's out there. It's purely a rumor at this point. There's no scientific evidence to support it. Right. There's no verifiable information coming from any satellite, any observation platform, nothing coming from Hubble, nothing coming from JWST as of yet. So people are talking about it. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, the rumor mill, it goes whispering from one person to the next until you get the person who says, oh my God, I need something to talk about. Let's run with it. And they actually brought some interesting people in to go ahead and get there, but it was a motley crew, to say the least, of people trying to go ahead and try and support it. But I don't think there's any
credible scientific documentable evidence to establish it being credible or not.
You couldn't say it better myself. I couldn't say it better myself, friend, for that matter.
Exactly. So until we get something concrete, at this point, we can't treat it beyond anything more than a rumor, and you got to take it with a grain of salt.
So don't worry about it. Don't get excited about it. Just like what we said to deal with what was going on for the UAP Disclosure Act or any other potential thing that's going to happen in Congress. Don't get sold on it right away. Don't go for it, hook, line, and sinker. Don't say, oh my God, look at this, look how great it is, we're going to make it. Sit back on the sidelines, get some popcorn, watch the battle, enjoy it. And if your side wins, celebrate. And if it doesn't, well then, go celebrate go ahead and mourn and drink more for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
It's just a reality of where we're at. And I know it's, I can see by some of the people leaving the channel lately, it's not the most popular thing to do, but it's just a reality of where we're at. I hate to say it.
It is. It's the truth. That's what we try to do, is provide honest information, not rumor, not speculation, to our audience, so that they can take trusted information and do with it what they will. But we don't go the route of other platforms and shows out there. So it's the right thing.
I just want to point out we're missing Laura Campbell tonight. Hopefully she's okay.
No, I saw her pop in earlier in the back chat.
Did she? Oh, there she is here. Thank God. I didn't see you there, Laura. I was hoping everything was all right with you,
Everything is just great. I just got off a session where we remote viewed it, and I'm going to talk about it in back chat, but I'm just going to say, don't worry about these objects. This one in particular, not to worry, because we got what it was and what's going on, and who knows about it. So just relax, everyone.
Good. It's always great to have our resident remote viewer here to give us an idea, or remote viewing targeter. You're just part of the remote viewing team, for that matter.
Thank you. I try.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Where else do I have stuff going on in my we got that one. Did I play two? Well, let's see. On other science news, let's bring this one up. It's a cool picture and talk about it. Apparently, the Earth is going to be gaining a mini moon. Open a window here, go across here. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Video full guest. Yes, Earth will temporarily have a mini moon in its orbit until late November. That's right, astronomers have revealed that its secondary mini moon, like mini-me, asteroid 2024, or PT5, will briefly enter orbit around Earth for the next several weeks. From September 29th, write it on your calendar, folks, just 29th, 6 days away, to November 25th. Right around Thanksgiving. Before continuing its journey around the sun, this temporary visitor will offer astronomers a rare glimpse of a near-Earth object as it passes close to our planet on its way through our cosmic neighborhood. I think it's been a while since I don't remember in my lifetime, Mike. Who was older than me? Mike? Do you remember ever running into something like this in the past? I think this is new.
No, sir. This is the first occurrence of an event like this. You're right.
So keep your eyes up to the sky. I'm sure as the viewing aids come out, we'll be covering them on Disclosure tonight to make sure you have an idea of how you can go ahead and glimpse this piece of history. It definitely is.
Do they say what the size of the object is?
I don't know, Mike. It's about the size of a bus, I think. Let me go ahead and figure out where it's at. Opening a new window. Here it comes. Let's see the size of a mini moon. All right. Additional data is needed further to confirm NEO's actually size, but the estimated size is about 37 feet in diameter, or 11 meters. The mini moon will be too small to be visible to the human eye. However, those with access to larger telescopes, too bad not binoculars, will be able to see the object during its visit. So it's kind of small, Mike. It's only like 37 feet across.
Not even a bus.
Not even a bus. Well.
Yep.
Yes,
Close
Mike.
to it. Yeah,
it's the size of a short.
Right.
It's the size of a short bus.
There you go. Perfect. So now we know. So yeah, that's interesting.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see what else we've got going on here in the brief news stories we've got covered. Now, apparently, this is a hullabaloo about nothing, but welcome to ufology, my friends. Representative Andre Carson won't comment on a classified James Webb Space Telescope briefing. Now, if you remember, as Rick has described it, the James Webb Telescope, although it's paid for by public money for public science, the DoD has specific amount of time dedicated on that telescope on a daily basis, right, Mike?
For the military and for the intelligence community, correct,
Yes,
Thomas?
absolutely,
Yes,
which
sir.
is interesting. The military and intelligence community is looking at deep space, not back at the planet with this. So it's interesting to see what they're going to kind of do. But when Representative Andre Carson was asked about the James Webb Telescope, he said no comment about his classified briefing. He came back with a straight up no comment. Not that he could say anything, but not that no comment means anything except no comment, except that he could have said, well, there was nothing there. We didn't hear anything. No comment could mean that he may have heard something, but it's nothing we have details on yet. Correct, Mike?
No, that's absolutely correct, Thomas. And until we get further information from a confirmed source, right now it's nothing more than part of the rumor mill.
Yeah.
More rumors. Yep, exactly.
Rumors, everyone's got one.
They do.
What else do we have going on here? Remember, if you're going to be going ahead and checking out LUE Elizondo at any of the upcoming bookings, you and you alone, in addition to just getting one of the bookings, you have the opportunity to go ahead and have dinner with a bunch of other people with LUE Elizondo. I know we've covered it before. I just want to cover it yet once again. Let me get into chat, video full. Here we go. Let's bring it up. All right, here you go. At all the different venues where LUE Elizondo is going to be going, like this one that's going to be in Nixa, Missouri, coming up ahead on November 18th, 2024. If you want, in addition to paying your admission, which ranges from $35, I think, to $50 for the preferred seatings, you can have a 5 p.m. private dinner with LUE Elizondo. How about that? It's your opportunity if you want to hang out and hobnob with the knob hobs, for that matter, before this happens. Brian, I know they've got one coming to the desert Southwest. Is it in Phoenix? Are you going to be going?
It's actually down here in Tucson.
Tucson, wow.
Which is home to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. And there's Logan Air Force Base in Phoenix. There's an Air Force Base down in Sierra Vista, so I find it interesting. He's kind of split in the middle. So I am going with the missus and one other person. That's
Faze Will.
Correct, yeah. And I don't know.
Are you guys going to go for the dinner too?
Well, we didn't know there was a dinner. We splurged for the third row seats. It's a smaller theater. I've been to that theater many times, and I believe Tucson.
You might be able to call back at their phone number. If you go back to the booking site, you may be able to call back at that phone number and do an add-on. I know Faze Will would probably go for it.
Yeah, I think he'd probably splurge with us too. But anyways, yeah, we're going to get together. So if there's anybody else down in the Tucson area at that time that wants to meet a couple weirdos in the back chat here.
Hey, you could actually have a 3 p.m. Disclosure Tonight meetup at the bar before you meet up with LUE Elizondo at 5 p.m. potentially.
Faze Will and I have talked about that, and yeah, so we may just do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we might do a remote. We can do a remote interview.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool. Just, hey, don't even have to do it live. Just get it on a phone. You know, hey, I do have breaking news coming in from AVM regarding the Trump interview today. Trump Jr. that was. AVM says Lou was asked to promote his book on Trump Jr.'s show today, but he politely refused to talk about his book. Goes to show you his integrity. Was very impressed seeing that. Well, he didn't pull it out, but a lot of the stuff that Lou was all talking about was all in the same dialogue from his from his other interviews. But it's interesting that he didn't have to pull the book out and say, hey, buy my new book.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's a good. I'm sorry, Mike, but I think it's a good move that he's not going on one presidential side or the other. I know he's been on a circuit of both left wing and right wing interviews lately, but that's a smart move.
I won't say anything. But
No
yeah,
comment.
interesting that he came on Don Jr.'s show today. Absolutely. You know what would be great? If you went on Don Jr.'s show, considering that, who was it? Kamala was just over on Oprah. Wouldn't it be great if LUE Elizondo could get on Oprah?
Maybe. She loves books, and he's got a #1 seller right now.
I know. That would
You
be
never
an
know.
unbelievable opportunity. Either that or Gaia, one of the places.
Yeah.
Hey,
Something.
the world is too small to be ruling any network out. Either that or Ancient Aliens. One of the ones. There's a place for LUE somewhere.
Just get the word out. Exactly.
Oh, we'd love to see him anywhere on a regular basis. I tell you, his audience would eat that up. All right,
You're
where
right.
else?
It would. So what do we got next?
Oh,
Hey, so Thomas, by the way, after that show, we'll give you a recap on what
I'm
happened.
sure you will, my
When
friend. I'm
Elizondo
sure you
comes
will.
in, yeah.
Oh, here's a good one. With the great picture. See if we can get this up. Oh, I got to get this down to here. I've got to bring this one up. I got to show this one. This is a good one. But this one, I have to say, although how gruesome as it may be, it's something I agree with, and I think it's honest and truthful. Let me go ahead and tell it to hide the sidebar. Come on, son of a bitch. Here we go. Hide. Where's it at? Jesus Christ. Hide sidebar. Here we go. Let's bring this one up. We'll have a conversation on this one. I'm sure this will go over. Yeah, I'm going to turn the auto comments in the chat on this one on. Let's have some fun. Video full. Humans. Come on. Let's shrink it down. There we go. Almost there. Humans are afraid. Almost there. Humans are afraid of aliens because they will treat us the same way we treat other animals on Earth. Mike, this is a brutal statement, but I have to agree with it completely because everyone says, oh my God, look what's going on with abductions. Look what they're potentially doing to humans. That is like against the law. That's kidnapping and everything else, right? But if you look at all the things that humans do to other life on this planet, whether it's monkeys or rabbits or Cocker Spaniels for that matter, or beagles, right? Look at all the different things that we do to all the other life. The heck, look at what we do to the oceans. Look at what we do on farms. Look at what we do to the earth itself. And everyone said, oh my God, look what these things are doing to us humans. But how are we better? How are we better than everything else on this planet? Because we say we're the most evolved, we're the highest evolved life form on this planet. This planet was made for us, and we can do anything to it. But what happens when you get something that is thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years more advanced than they are? And they've been here longer than us. Now, we don't like when potentially they're doing stuff to us, but look at all the horrible things we do everywhere else. And I know one bad does not do a right or right either way. You know what I mean? We think we're the top dog in the universe, but we're not. So if ETs are coming here and they're subjecting us to the same types of things that humans are doing to all the other life on this planet, Mike, do you think it's out of the natural order of things?
No, actually, it's not. And you and I have had plenty of conversations about this for a long time now, making comparisons to how life is here on Earth with the lower species below us. And if we found ourselves in a similar situation, I guess people would not be too happy about that.
No. And I know some experience out there, like Linda Thompson, when I have brought this up in the past, she was furious because she's an experiencer. She's, made a lot of statements regarding to different things that have happened to her. And heck, her name is even in LUE Elizondo's book. Go figure. And if that's the case and these things are going on, again, do unto others as you want done unto you, right?
True. You're right. But there are also believers out there that follow the Dr. Stephen Greer cult that feel that they're benevolent and they're here to help us.
I mean, Quaker Oats guy approach, yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're all loving and they're all beneficial and they're all here to be nice and keep us happy, like in a farm, like in a zoo. Probably more like a farm.
That's
Thomas, a difference between them and us is that, and lower species, Thomas, is that they take our DNA and they put us, they do experiments on us, they got DNA.
But how many different parts of DNA have they manipulated on the planet? We don't know. There may be other species besides us.
Yes. Like we could just be one of the human species.
Yeah, or this could be just one of the many species that they grow and curate on this planet. Who knows? Uh-oh. Aliens are coming to get us. The dogs have found us.
Yep. Sounds like it.
Let me see what else I've got here, Mike. Yeah, it's just one of those days. It's the smorgasbord of UFOs today. Where's it at? Where did it go? Shit. I just had it here. Give me a second. File open recent PDF. Apparently, there have been a great there's been a large number of additional petroglyphs that have been discovered down in Peru by AI. I want to go ahead and bring this out. I know this is, we're getting into some science stuff here as we're getting into science speculation. Let's go ahead and bring this up. So, yeah, they have some examples of what they could kind of see getting into some of these particulars. Let me get my other pad up here. You can see there's not a lot left there to go ahead and see of this stuff. If you look hard, you can kind of see some details that AI was going and picking up. If we start getting into a little bit clear where the AI is drawing on top of these petroglyphs. Now, we only have 12 to look at, but they found 300 more of these things. Now, do any of these things look like aliens? Maybe not, but I'd say this guy looks pretty freaking weird. And some other stuff and some different beings that are there showing stuff off. Again, it's very rudimentary, not very high-tech symbols or anything. You've got one here that looks like a seal or maybe potentially like a shark because it has a bigger fin in the back on one side, maybe wearing something magical for that matter. But if we get down into the actual images of the objects, you can kind of see what was actually picked up coming from the artificial intelligence. So we always like to think everything in definitive terms, that we've discovered everything, Mike, that there is to discover, and there's nothing more out there. Where this clearly shows taking an artificial intelligence look from satellite images can actually go ahead and open our eyes to the things that are currently around us. Hello, Mocha.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's always something new that comes up out of the woodwork. Nothing new with that. Can't be shocked or surprised. Did they mention in that article if they got a chance to carbon date how old those petroglyphs are?
No, they haven't, but they're saying it's the same age as all the other ones that have been out there so far.
Okay, so nothing unusual.
Nothing unusual. All they're doing is they're finding more shapes, more petroglyphs in the same area they found them before, except these were just a little bit more mucked by humanity, is what it looks like.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It is.
There you go. Got a barking dog here, not a barking desk. Have anything else we haven't covered here today? I don't know, Mike. I think we've covered a lot of stuff for a Monday night show. It's slow again right now. There's not a lot of stuff going on, and it's a matter of just trying to understand. I guess there's been some more information that's come out with regards to the craft that have potentially crashed up in Alaska. That came from potentially, who was it? From the Canadians, for that matter. There's been a big declassification that's been going on from this. Long story short, there's some talking about information. They didn't find... How does it go, Mike? I think I've got it here.
We ain't found shit.
They always look, but they never find anything, and they never have results. They were talking the Canadians had a force of 130 airmen to go ahead and search for this. They had an additional 70 people who could come in on ground if they could find out where some of the stuff was at. But some of the stuff that crashed up in the Yukon and up in Alaska was in areas where they could not recover anything. So while the Canadian military was willing to go ahead and help us out and help themselves out to try and find something, there's still no proof of anything coming down, of anything being found or recovered for that matter.
Correct. And anything that they did find to recover, they haven't been public about it at all.
Which is no surprise.
No, not a shock.
Because our government is not the one who wants to go out there and tell us the truth about stuff.
No, they've been covering it up for almost 8 decades so far. Why would that change right now?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons they shot the legislation down with the UAPDA. They don't want anything coming out or forward.
No.
So they continue. What does Tim Burchett like to say?
It's a cover-up.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, I did find something that was an interesting piece of memorabilia. Remember those Flintstone chewables?
I do.
Apparently, it's the sole reason Gen X will live to 100. Are you still taking yours? Are you taking your kazoos?
No.
Oh, speaking of kazoo.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening and welcome. What you're about to hear may disturb you. Beloved alien celebrity Bijou, the extraterrestrial, was found dead on the outskirts of Wyoming. Reports from eyewitnesses who had spotted 2 men making a hasty escape from the lifeless Bijou. Currently, the Space Force is conducting an investigation, and a pivotal piece of evidence has emerged, potentially indicating that this could be a case of homicide. We've obtained a leaked audio recording from a nearby trail camera.
You think you know pain? Remember what you did to me?
Thank you for watching. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
I love that clip. That is
I love that clip. Almost as good as an obese trans person who tried to storm the stage during a Matt Gaetz speech last Friday.
Yeah.
We're not going to show that one. It's pretty brutal.
Oh, yeah. I would imagine it's pretty bad.
Yeah, but hey, if you live in Johannesburg, South Africa, apparently, they have been getting a lot of snow.
In Africa?
South Africa. It is kind of south, I guess. Not that I've ever seen freeways and everyone getting stuck. God, it looks like a good foot of snow came down after the vehicles had already stopped.
Wow.
That's going to be one heck of a dig out, I tell you.
It is. They're not prepared for that either.
Yeah, it's going to be a cold and snowy winter up here in the Pacific Northwest. I can tell you, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Meanwhile, Florida declared a state of emergency today for the incoming tropical storm Helene. We'll see if anything comes from that.
Oh, don't forget, but they're not willing to take any money to say, oh, God, look how severe these storms are coming, and there's additional money available from the federal government. Guess what? They're not putting their hands out for the additional funding that's available because they're saying it's from global warming.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. They're just going to wait for FEMA to come and bail them out if they have to, need be.
Oh yeah, but I think they're going to be happy on their own with their Mickey bucks these days.
Yeah. Oh God, we could have a whole show about what's going on down there with that.
Oh my God, I would appreciate not for that matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, apparently HarperCollins is now promoting Lou on Facebook. They link to his account. There's even UFO evidence for people to check out when they arrive. How about that? So it's nice to see that HarperCollins is standing behind Lue Elizondo and trying to get him into all the places he absolutely needs to be.
Yeah. The publisher is obviously standing behind him as an author and getting the word out there.
Yeah.
Well, they're invested, so why wouldn't they? It's good business.
Yeah. Oh, I do have something here. We do have another late. Oh God, this is a long one.
You think this?
All right. So in a late clip that came out of the Lue Elizondo interview, I'm not going to show the whole clip here because it's 5 minutes and 50 seconds, way too long. But apparently, Lue mentioned. Okay, Lue was asked by Donald Trump Jr. who should lead a UAP program in the next administration. Lue mentions Robert Kennedy Jr.'s support for transparency. Others are supportive behind the scenes. Lue suggests Tim Gallaudet, Carl Nell, who was supposed to be heading up the UAP, who was supposed to be heading up ARO at this point, is not, and David Grush. Interesting. He doesn't suggest himself, though, Mike. Why?
That's a good question, Thomas.
That'd be a good job. That'd be a good high-paying job for the future. Why would you want to give it? He'd say, yes, I'd be the perfect person for it. Take me.
Yeah, exactly.
Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
Exactly.
Oh, what else do we have going on here today? Oh, nope. Nothing from space. I got a bunch of other stuff. Mike, I think we've covered about everything we can cover tonight. Is there anything else we've missed? Anything from anybody in the back that we haven't hit? I think we hit everything.
If anybody has a question, speak now if you ever hold your peace, but I think we're almost 80 minutes in. I think we're good.
Yeah. Oh, we started always 5-10 minutes late, so we're about a little more than an hour in, but it's been a fun Monday night for that matter. Covered all the different stuff of what's going on in Disclosure today. It's worth it for all of our time to be a part of this and be part of this family. Remember, if you had a good time Disclosure tonight, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't given us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, we'll take one or the other. Tell us what you think in the comments below, right, Mike?
Exactly. It was another fun conversation. We covered a lot of different topics, so it's a smorgasbord of information for Monday.
Oh, yeah, you better believe it, On that note, what a great show, what a great opportunity to hang out with friends. More importantly, I want to thank all the people in our chat tonight who are our participants tonight. Ann Joanne, Delta Echo, Eli McGinnis, Dan Larev, Firefly, J-Cat, Kathy, Kelly Broton's Piercing Blue Eyes, who's here every show. King Bull, Little Schisms, Mississippi Martians, Nathan Forrest, Niles guys here, Pete Liebel, Roger, Shermanator Osborne, our resident ancientologist. You got some interesting little content coming out on YouTube lately, Sherman. The Chromosome Cowboy, Truth Seekers, and Konstantinos has been here as well. How about that? But sometimes, my friends, it's not just about the people in chat, it's also about the people in the back. I want to thank Andy W. Thank you for being here tonight, my friend.
My pleasure, Thomas. I didn't get to say anything, but I spent my time with you guys and ladies tonight. Better than being at work.
Thank you, sir. Brian Pemble, thanks for being here, Brian.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me again. I missed you guys the last couple of days, so it's good to be here.
Absolutely. Laura, thanks for coming out.
No, you're welcome. I can't wait for back chat tonight.
Oh, I can't wait for it as well. And as we usually wrap everything up, and Mike, thanks for coming out, having a fun time today, my friend. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Oh, I know. On that note, as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everyone, but
Go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you on the flip side. Good night, everybody. Love you. Y'all come back.